We're counting down the 6 unique Japanese habits proven to extend a car's life far beyond what most drivers imagine possible. From unexpectedly simple routines anyone can adopt to a surprising technique at number 2, these principles bridge cultural tradition and science to prevent breakdowns before they even start. Which habit has the biggest impact on true longevity? Let's begin with number 6. Every few months, Japanese drivers and mechanics open the hood and clean every surface they can reach. This habit isn't just about pride or appearance. A spotless engine bay sheds heat more efficiently, keeping wiring harnesses and rubber seals from slowly baking under a layer of grime. In Japanese taxi fleets, thermal imaging has shown that dirty engine compartments run several degrees hotter, quietly accelerating the brittleness of plastic connectors and gaskets. Even more important, a clean surface makes it possible to spot the faintest trace of oil or coolant right away. Catching a pinhole leak early can mean the difference between a quick fix and a seized engine. Fleet records from Tokyo show that early leak detection prevents most catastrophic oil loss incidents. For Japanese drivers, a clean engine isn't just neatness, it's the first line of defense against hidden damage. Japanese manuals don't treat city driving as normal, they call it severe service. That means short trips, cold starts, and endless stoplights. Under these conditions, oil thins out fast. Ministry of Transport studies found that after just 3 quick drives, fuel dilution drops oil viscosity by 18%. That thin oil can't protect bearings or piston rings, letting metal-on-metal wear build up. Japanese mechanics counter this risk by changing oil every 5,000 kilometers, or about 3,000 miles, half the interval most Western drivers follow. The payoff is real. Engines running on fresh oil see 41% less carbon buildup, keeping piston rings free and compression strong. Taxi fleets in Tokyo stick to this schedule and their engines routinely pass 400,000 miles without major work. In Japan, oil is cheap and engines are priceless. Japanese mechanics have a zero-tolerance policy for generic replacement parts. Every sensor, relay, and gasket is matched to original Denso or Aisin specifications. The reason is simple: precision matters. An OEM oxygen sensor reports air-fuel ratios within 1% of factory spec. A cheap aftermarket version can be off by 5% or more. That small error forces the engine to run rich, flooding the catalytic converter with excess fuel. Fleet records show catalytic converters exposed to rich mixtures lose nearly 27% of their expected lifespan. Saving a few dollars on a sensor can lead to an $800 repair, or worse, a failed emissions test. Japanese taxi operators insist on factory parts because they know a car's reliability depends on every component working in harmony. Hardware precision isn't negotiable, it's the foundation for decades of trouble-free driving. Japanese drivers treat every journey as a lesson in patience. Instead of hammering the gas or stomping the brakes, they move with a gentle touch, what mechanics call the monk driving style. This means easing into acceleration to avoid lugging the engine, which spikes torque by nearly 28% and sends shockwaves through the drivetrain. Early, gradual braking is just as important. By slowing down ahead of time, drivers cut stress on suspension bushings by 19%, keeping the chassis tight and free of rattles even after hundreds of thousands of miles. Taxi telemetry from Tokyo shows that cars driven with soft inputs experience far less gear micro-pitting and fewer transmission failures. Over decades, this approach turns routine commutes into a kind of rolling meditation, one that quietly preserves every bolt, mount, and bearing in the car. Every morning in Japan, drivers turn the key and pause for 30 seconds. No more, no less. This isn't superstition, it's a habit built on oil pressure curves and hard data from Japanese engineering labs. Cold engines need time for oil to reach the cam phasers and upper cylinder walls. If you drive off instantly, those first revolutions grind metal against metal before the oil pump hits its target pressure, usually around 3 bar at the 27-second mark. Letting the engine idle for too long is just as risky. Excess fuel washes oil from the cylinder walls, a process called bore wash. In Tokyo taxi fleets, switching to this exact 30-second wait cut bore wash incidents by over 90%. After the wait, drivers pull away gently, giving every moving part a fighting chance at a long life. The rule is simple: 30 seconds of patience, decades of reliability. Every 2 years after a car's third birthday, Japanese owners face the Shaken inspection, a legal ritual that goes far beyond a quick checkup. Technicians strip the process down to the essentials. Brakes measured for even the slightest fade, bushings and belts scrutinized for age, emissions tested to factory spec. If a part is close to the limit, it gets replaced, no debate. This isn't just compliance, it's a philosophy shaped by the idea of motenai, a deep respect for avoiding waste. Preventive care isn't seen as an expense, but as a way to honor the machine and the resources behind it. On average, Japanese drivers invest about $180 a year in scheduled maintenance, a small price to avoid the $2,500 hit of a major breakdown. Shaken makes it routine to swap out a timing belt or a set of shocks before trouble starts, keeping cars off tow trucks and on the road. This mindset unifies every habit: clean engines, fresh fluids, gentle driving, precise parts, and patient starts under a single rule. Treat maintenance as an investment, not a reaction. That's how ordinary cars in Japan become legends of longevity. Across all 6 habits, one truth stands out: car longevity is built on relentless prevention, not luck. In Japan, discipline, not shortcuts, keeps engines alive. Respect your machine and it pays you back.